Everyone has heard that dogs see the world only in black and white, but is it true? Right now, your dog is looking at you, and what he sees will surprise you. This myth is almost 100 years old. Teachers, vets, and textbooks all repeated it. It was repeated so confidently that nobody even thought to double check it. Imagine a world without a red sunset, without green grass, without a blue sky. Is that how your dog actually lives? Or have we been wrong for a whole century? What does an old black and white TV have to do with your dog's eyes? Why is a bright red ball on green grass the worst purchase of your life? And why does a dog look at your favorite rainbow completely differently than you do? In 1989, three bold scientists decided to close this question forever. They built a machine, sat dogs in front of lamps, and started the test. That result completely overturned everything we thought about canine vision. Spoiler, dogs do see colors, just not the ones you are used to seeing. And at the end of this video, there's a twist. They may even see more than we do. Today we'll go through the arguments for and against and give our final verdict. Let's go back to the 1930s. America. Dog breeding is becoming a cult. Enter Will Judy, a famous publisher, authoritative dog expert, and writer. In 1937, he publishes his landmark book about training dogs, and he inserts one short sentence on its pages that will change the whole perception. He claims, "It is highly likely that dogs can only distinguish shades of gray." Notice the word likely. It was only a guess, not a confirmed experiment. But his book instantly sells in huge numbers across the entire country. Newspapers pick up the sensation, magazines reprint it. Nobody checks the source. The information dominoes started. One careless guess gave birth to millions of repetitions. Radio shows broadcast it, brochures are printed. The myth smoothly becomes an indisputable fact. By the 50s, this thought is already printed in school textbooks. Professional vets repeat this to worried owners during routine checkups. The era helped the myth grow too. After all, everyone watched black and white TVs. It was easy for the human brain to draw an analogy. A dog's view equals an old screen. There was a second powerful pillar of this misconception: academic science of those years. For a long time, color vision was believed to belong only to primates and birds. Dogs and cats were simply crossed off the color list, by default, without testing. For decades, this topic was gathering dust on the archive shelves of world research institutes. And the main difficulty was that a dog cannot tell us what it actually sees. It's enough to show color circles to a human. With an animal, that trick won't work. Anatomy played a part too. A dog's retina indeed has very few color cones. On the other hand, the number of rods, light-sensitive cells, is truly fantastic. Wolves hunt at night and in the twilight. Why would they need bright colors? Quoter biologists decided. At first glance, the logic was absolutely concrete, but a failure was hidden behind it, because few cones in the scientific world doesn't mean their complete absence. But who would argue with a solid encyclopedia? Children read it and firmly believed. The myth successfully crossed oceans, becoming an international truth for many years. As a result, pet toy manufacturers didn't change their designs for years. They churned out red and orange toys that dogs could barely even see. The real truth about dogs was buried under an avalanche of authoritative books. But let's be extremely honest. This myth actually has very powerful defenders. The first and most important defender is the microscope. Retinal anatomy confirms the facts. The ratio of cones to rods in dogs is heavily shifted toward the black and white night. In pitch darkness, your dog sees obstacles perfectly while you stumble around. Wild predators' eyes literally glow in the dark, catching tiny particles of light. This vision resembles the operation of a high-quality military night vision device. Their ancestors, the wolves, needed to survive by hunting in the darkest twilight of the forest. Evolution cut away everything unnecessary, focusing on catching the slightest movement. At twilight, colors fade even for a human, turning into a single gray mass. So why would the body waste valuable resources on maintaining color vision? Added to this are the everyday observations of millions of owners around the world. A dog finds a red ball thrown into green grass only with the help of its smell. It often runs right past a bright toy if it lies completely still. Smell for a dog is a complete brightest picture of its complex world. The olfactory center in their brain is colossally developed compared to ours. During training, dogs are reluctant to react to bright cards of different colors. colors, but they instantly read a barely noticeable movement of your hand or body tilt. On agility courses, dogs confuse hurdles if they do not contrast in tone. And at a traffic light, a dog never looks at which color is lit on the panel. Guide dogs guide people across by focusing on completely different important cues. Even old veterinarians claimed that dogs' eyes are incapable of seeing colors. The first laboratory experiments in the early century also spoke of color blindness. Dogs got confused by colored boxes, choosing only those that were simply brighter. The dogs easily fooled the experimenters, replacing color with the level of illumination. For a long time, none of the scientists could detect these methodological errors. The brain's energy cost for processing color is huge. It's too expensive a gift. And nature made a choice in favor of survival, not aesthetic pleasure. For a successful hunt, it is important to see a running rabbit in thick, dark bushes. Silhouette, speed, and trajectory of movement, that's what decides life or death. Visual acuity in dogs is lower than in humans. The world seems slightly blurry to them, but science does not stand still. It's time to destroy age-old myths. The late 20th century. The University of California decides to put an end to this. A group of researchers led by Jane Neitz creates a unique test. They developed a device that projects 3 light circles in front of the subject. The dog had to choose one circle that differed in color from the other 2. If the dog found the right color and pressed it with its nose, it got a tasty treat. And the dogs began to point to the correct circle without mistakes in most tests. To exclude the brightness factor, scientists constantly changed its level on the devices. But this did not confuse the dogs. They chose specifically the color tone. The experiment proved to the whole world, dogs definitely have working color vision. So what is the fundamental difference between our eyes and those of dogs? It's all about the number of types of cone cells in the retina of the eye. Humans have 3 types, which allows us to see the entire rich palette. We are trichromats. We catch red, green, and blue colors of the spectrum. Dogs, however, naturally have only 2 types of cones. They are dichromats. Their spectrum is heavily shifted. In fact, they see the world in yellow and blue tones. That very juicy red ball seems dark, almost brown or gray to them. Green grass under their paws looks like a faded grayish-yellow surface to them. A red fire hydrant for a dog will be an ordinary yellowish-gray object. Their rainbow is devoid of red and green shades. It is noticeably poorer than ours. A dog's vision is very similar to that of a human with red-green color blindness. Later, scientists from Russia conducted their own independent, detailed studies. They confirmed that dogs rely precisely on color, not on brightness. This finally destroyed the old myth of Will Judy from the 30s. Now about superpowers. Let's remember the magical glow of dogs' eyes. Behind their retina, they have a special reflective layer, tapetum lucidum. It works like a mirror, reflecting light back onto the light-sensitive cells of the retina. Thanks to this, a dog sees in the dark several times better than any human. And a dog's viewing angle is an impressive 250 degrees. For you and me, this figure is limited to only 180. Sighthounds are able to control the panorama practically all around themselves. They see fast-moving objects incredibly clearly and in high detail. The frame rate perception in dogs is higher. An old TV flickered for them. Catching a flying insect for a dog is a simple and easily achievable task. Useful tip: buy your beloved pet blue or yellow toys. He will see them on the green lawn immediately, without long searches with his nose. This is why obstacles at dog championships are painted in these 2 colors. And guide dogs determine the traffic light by the position of the glowing lamp. In addition, dogs' eyes are able to catch ultraviolet light invisible to us. Night marks on fences glow for them like bright neon signs. It's time to deliver the final and irrevocable judicial verdict. Is it true that dogs see the world solely in black and white tones? No! This is an absolute pure myth that has long been debunked by science. The myth is finally defeated, shattered to pieces under the onslaught of indisputable evidence. Dogs are dichromats, possessing a full blue-yellow spectrum of vision. They confuse some colors, but their world definitely cannot be called a gray movie. They simply have 2 types of cones instead of the 3 we are used to. The dog's world is painted with fewer colors, but it is beautiful. Your dog sees the same sunset as you, but in its own unique range. This vision is not worse than ours. It is simply perfectly tuned to the animal's needs. The century-old deception is finally sent to the dusty trash heap of history. The truth prevailed, opening up new facets of our pets' lives to us. Scientific research has returned to to dogs their rightful color perception. No one else will dare to say that your loyal friend does not see colors. But our amazing biological investigation does not end here. Fasten your seatbelts because now there will be an unexpected and explosive twist. We are used to thinking that dogs are deprived of vision, but what if it's the other way around? Thanks to ultraviolet light, a dog sees hidden patterns unavailable to humans. By the way, cats also see the world in a similar blue-yellow palette, but ordinary butterflies have as many as 5 types of color cones. The mantis shrimp actually sees the world in 16 color channels of the spectrum. About 2% of women on Earth possess rare tetrachromatic vision, but the true superorgan of any dog is, without a doubt, its wonder nose. 300 million receptors against a measly 5 million in humans. Completely blind dogs can lead an active life, relying only on smell. A dog's nostrils can catch smells separately, creating a stereo effect. Dogs always look first at the left side of a human's face. That is where our genuine emotions and feelings are most clearly displayed. Your dog understands your mood without unnecessary words, just by looking at you. Please him today with a new blue toy during your next trip to the store. Play with him in the park, knowing that you now understand each other better. Spend a cozy evening together in front of a modern, bright TV screen. Don't forget to click the subscription bell under this useful video. Be sure to write in the comments which next myth we should double check. See you in the next episodes, where we will reveal even more secrets of nature.